Hello, it's great to have you with us for the year-end wrap-up of Explore Tulsa. And this week, we'll take a peek at several of our most fun and interesting segments of 2017.
Like the Class That Rocks at Riverfield Country Day School.
And there was the virtual game experience at Xtreme V.R.
Plus fun on the lanes at the Dust Bowl.
And several more favorites. Hi, I'm Stevie Fernandez.
And I'm Trish Whitmer. Thanks for starting 2018 by taking time for this week's Explore Tulsa.
And what a year 2017's been. Coach Blankenship's Owasso Rams break the 21-year streak of Jinx and Union, taking the state title by taking it for themselves at Gold Ball.
And the Owasso Lady Rams golf team won their second straight state title.
Before you know it, everyone's going to have their own talking robot.
Well, if that's the case, then it starts with Charlie and Elizabeth's Joppa the Robot.
The first time we were ever able to have him perform, it was amazing.
Just because I'm presuming that I could be kinda human if I only had a heart.
You know, I was never a gadget guy, I was a working guy. I worked all the time in my business, and that was my hobby. I didn't have personal time until we retired, and I've had a fascination for an art form called automata.
My husband had an opportunity to go to Cornwall, England, and to learn how to make automatas.
This is automata, and if you get a look at this, there's a lot of tiny pieces, and I was trained to make every piece. Automata is the beginning of robotics.
And so we went over there, and some friends introduced us to some other friends that built Joppa.
So we decided we'd form a company. There'd never been a company that rented entertainment robots, and we brought one in. Ours is the 5th one in the United States. The first one was brought in by NASA. So we do all the animation, we put the words into him, animate him, do his color changes, eye movements, head movements. And Liz is the critical, she's really a producer. So as I'm creating the thing, she says, no. You gotta go back and do this, change this. It's fun and exciting to be able to program him and get him to perform. Kids love him. It is astounding to see the kids play with him. And he has the capability on the kiosk to be able to allow a kid to do performances with him. So they can type in the words they want him to say, they can move his head, change his colors, and they absolutely love him, and that's the future.
Whenever we have, we set up the program, then we transfer it over to him, and to see him perform, it's wonderful.
To sign Joppa up for your next event, visit robotrentalus.com to learn more.
That Joppa is pretty impressive, but if he could play the guitar,
Then he'd probably be a student at Riverfield Country Day School, where they really learn how to rock.
And Paul Knight is the Tulsa version of Jack Black at the School of Rock.
Do I ever get referenced as Jack Black? Well, yeah, kind of. Sometimes, even as we've had trips to things like the BOK Center to work with some bands. We spent a day with AC/DC, and Angus Young actually referred to me as Jack Black, which was pretty cool. Well, Riverfield Country Day School is a small-ish, non-religious private school. It's a pre-K through 12th grade. We have been around since 1984. We have a little over 600 students, pre-K through 12. It was accepted at Riverfield from day one. It kind of fits with the school. The school's, it's a very forward-thinking school. I can get to very advanced concepts from a very young age with these students because I'm giving them, it's being presented by us in a way that has fewer boundaries. They're into what we're talking about, they're into the music, so we learn the music and then we talk about it and instruct it, rather than start with, hear the notes on the page, we'll tell you all about it and go step by step. We actually start at the end to where we're actually playing it, and then we reverse engineer it. I kind of call it the Mr. Miyagi teaching approach, to where you have them do it, and then this is what you've learned. The typical things that music helps you with, you know, obviously the stuff with the way it helps your brain, that's regardless of what they're doing. But in this setting, the small group and small band setting, there's a lot of ownership, and accountability. So when there's a part that they've got to learn, and there's 6 people in the group, and they're all wanting to really learn this song that's been out for 2 weeks, and they're really excited to perform it at Kane's Ballroom. And if somebody in the band's not doing their job, it may mean that they may not get to play that song, and that may be the only song that this singer gets to sing. And so they all have to work together to push each other, and I feel that that's one of those kind of like inner drive and like kind of empathetic drives that will help them in a boardroom, will help them in pretty much any professional setting, I feel. We play Kane's every year, so our students love Kane's, and we like to go try to meet a lot of the bands that we cover, and a lot of the bands whose songs we cover, bands like Fantagram, have reached out to us in the past. 21 Pilots. Those trips we usually do from a production standpoint. So we're spending the day with their sound and their lighting. What we get from it is really hard to put into words. I mean, it's just definitely pride. I mean, I can't think of a performance that we've put on where I haven't teared up at some point. It's just amazing to see the process, and I know we all feel the same way, because it takes so much work to get there.
To learn more about the music program and other fun offerings, visit riverfield.org.
When we come back, we're going to find Dr. Zellner making radio history with the Thrive Time Show and more Explore Tulsa.
As we get older, our metabolism slows down. Here's a tip to fire up your metabolism that works every time.
Americans are pretty much in a fed state all of the time,
Which makes the digestion system work continuously, bogging it down with a never-ending supply of grain and sugar.
Healthy metabolism eventually screeches to a halt.
And to reverse this, intentionally put your body in a non-fed state on a regular basis and let the body repair itself and even burn off fat.
A great way to do this is through intermittent fasting. Eat dinner at a regular time, say around 6 p.m., and then wait to eat your next meal at noon the next day.
Now, we recommend you do this 1 to 2 times per week. For more information about this and much more, visit sherwoodwellness.tv.
Thanks for staying with us for more Explore Tulsa. Now, 2017 also gave us a coaching change at the top as Lincoln Riley takes over the Sooners.
But he seems to have started where Coach Stoops left off as the Sooners find their way back to national championship contention.
Riley was no doubt a great listener when it came to learning his trade from Coach Stoops.
The same kind of mentoring any of us can get by checking in with Dr. Zellner and Clay Clark on Tulsa's new Thrive Time show.
We teach time management, and what we've learned is that you only do the things you have scheduled.
Thrive15.com is the world's best business school. It's basically business school without the BS. Dr. Z is sort of like Donald Trump meets small business. He has a lot of fun analogies, a lot of fun stories, but he's definitely pragmatic. He knows the answers, he's been there, he's done that, and he's just a lot of fun to have on the show.
If you think about it, we've made thousands of videos already talking about business coaching, business school, if you will. And so when we were approached by Scripps Radio Company to say, hey, listen, we like local talk radio. What do you guys think about doing what you did on video on your website and putting it on radio? And we're like, okay. He is so prepared. He's the play-by-play analyst, and he is spot on. And I just like the color commentary. I mean, I just show up and just kind of, weave in a few stories here and there.
If you're listening today and you're going, okay, so this show's about self-awareness and how do I fix? Well, I was an entertainer. I was a disc jockey, which is one step below being a carny. Then I got promoted to becoming a DJ, and then after I received some awards in business, I got asked to be a speaker. And so I was sort of like a business comedian, and I would travel all around the world speaking to Chevron and Hewlett-Packard and O'Reilly's and big companies, and my job was to entertain them, and it was just me and a mic. This is much more fun.
Well, I think that number one, it's local. Number two, it's relevant. And it does educate and it entertains as well. So that's a very unique characteristic to radio.
Dr. Zellner's on the show with me. Dr. Zelman is an optometrist turned Tulsa tycoon of business, and I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. And so we're on the show every day, and we feature local Oklahomies, Oklahoma success stories, people who've had some success and who are gracious enough to take some time out of their schedule to help educate and entertain the listeners.
Anytime you're being yourself, and that's really what we are. We're being ourselves, and we're doing what we love to do, and a thing we have a passion for. Anytime you do that, you know, you sit there in the back of your mind and go, gosh, I hope people like it. I hope they accept it. I hope they want it.
Well, I don't want to take the interview to a downer, but we had so many people who are listening who are just financially barely hanging on. And when you talk to these people and they tell you how they are applying what they learned, that to me is the home run. Just knowing that you taught somebody something that they previously didn't know, and here they were struggling financially in their business, and now they learned a little nugget that's going to help them get to where they want to go. Because according to Forbes, 8 out of 10 small businesses fail. That's 8 out of 10 fail. And we want to eradicate that number. We want to make it where 0 out of 10 businesses fail right here in Tulsa.
Visit thrivetimeshow.com for the latest shows and information to help you succeed in business.
The training might be a little bit more intense, but the outcome for success is still the prime objective.
And were these guys ever busy when that tornado hit back in August? So let's gear up and see what it takes to become a Tulsa firefighter.
The name of this facility is the Tulsa Fire Safety Training Center. We've been planning this facility for going on 10 years. It finally came to fruition. The first building over here, we call this Fire Station 101. It's set up to mirror, it's identical to a fire station like that you'll see in the field. Those 3 bays there is where we park the trucks. We pull them out. That's where we do physical fitness training is in there. We've also got a classroom set up where they do all their scholastic training throughout the academy. The large building over here is called our Special Operations Building. So in the event of a tornado, flood, all the members that are part of the task force from other departments, this is kind of the central staging point. We all meet up here and go out. These metal canisters are called flashover props. Those were developed in Sweden. They're able to sit down low. We build a fire up high, and they're able to watch fire conditions build, and they're able to watch a flashover as it progresses, and we're able to control the situation. The value in that is we can tell firefighters, when this happens, you're seconds away from a flashover, a minute away. These are the things that you do to prevent that. It helps, it's going to save their lives someday. Last prop out here is the drill tower. This is a 6-story. In my opinion, this is the nicest one in the nation. The great thing about this drill tower is we're basically limited only by our imagination as to what we can put firefighters through here. And so each floor's got a burn prop where we're able to actually, as you guys saw, put them in a fire situation. We've got office props, we've got bedroom, house. Like I said, limited by the imagination. So that was simulating a fire in the break room. So what we'll do is we'll have that fire going. We'll fill the floor full of smoke, 0 visibility. We'll position some dummies around in the cubicles, and we'll tell our firefighters, this is what you've got. You got some victims down. We don't tell them where the fire is, and then we just let them loose. In the U.S. Fire Service, it's roughly 70% of our fire service is comprised of volunteers. Men and women that show up and do it for free. And without them, we couldn't get it done. That's part of the reason we haven't had a death in so long, is we constantly train, hammer into the cadets, constantly bringing the members in the field out here. And that is why I believe that we're one of the best fire departments in the nation.
To learn what you have to do in order to become a Tulsa firefighter, visit cityoftulsa.org.
Coming up, a little something for the gamers in us all when Explore Tulsa returns.
Sony and Video Revolution take you there. From space travel to world championships. Tomorrow's technology today. 4K smart TVs and the largest flat screens available. Now more than ever, you have the best seat in the world when history is made. Video Revolution. On the northwest corner, 71st and Lewis.
We're very happy you decided to stay with us on Explore Tulsa as we continue to look back on 2017, when we saw the grand opening of the much-anticipated Margaritaville Resort Pool at the River Spirit Casino.
That is a fun place, but I have to suck in my gut when I'm running down the new river trails behind the pool.
Oh, it'll be a few months before we can enjoy some pool time, but there's plenty of indoor fun to be had.
Yeah, like taking some classic 10-pin action downtown at the Dust Bowl.
There hadn't been a bowling alley in quite some time in downtown Tulsa. We've been stationed here for the last 6 years though, so we're bringing a little bit more fun back to the downtown area with all the recent growth. The owner felt as if they needed to have a facility with an activity as well as libations, fun for all ages. So thought what better than to do a bowling alley in downtown in one of the vacant spots. It's kind of a nice classic throwback to when they were growing up with their parents and their grandparents. The wood paneling and the plaid carpet and the pencil and paper scorekeeping. The name came about kind of the Dust Bowl, the throwback to the early 1900s in Oklahoma, and it just made sense. The dust definitely does come whipping down Elgin. The Tulsa location's been here for 6 years, and then the Dust Bowl in Oklahoma City has been around for a few years as well. So we're the first of hopefully many. We do have a number of families that do meet here on the weekends in the afternoon, especially when the weather might be poor outside. It gives a little bit of something extra. We do have a league night twice a week, one on Tuesday and one on Thursday. That's a co-ed optional. They come in and bowl 3 games a night and hang out for a few hours. There's a lot of camaraderie, a little bit of competition, but everyone has fun. On top of the bowling, we do have a daily kitchen, hostings of burgers, tater tots done 7 different ways, a few vegetarian options, hummus, wraps, a few sandwiches. We also do have a full bar, so if the adults want to partake in adult libations, we can provide that as well. It's been a fantastic experience so far, and I look forward to the many years to come, all the faces that we get to meet, the people, the walks of life, and to present a fun facility.
The Dust Bowl is open for fun 7 days a week. Visit dustbowlok.com to book a private party or just learn more about when you can play.
Bowling is fun, but all the new action comes from the virtual world, like the one offered at Xtreme VR.
Started as an indoor go-kart racing track, so what we brought to Tulsa were electric go-karts. This game, the one we're starting with, is a zombie apocalypse. So it is you against the waves of the undead. So you've got up to 6 right now. In August, the plan is to go to 8 players. Again, playing on the same team, talking to each other, strategizing. This one right now is 30 minutes gameplay. You're back here for about 45 minutes, start to finish. But the way they map out the game in your goggle, you don't really move a lot in the space, but you'll feel like you're walking through areas of the undead. You know, it's a post-apocalyptic, urban rundown scene. So you have to wear, it's a military backpack actually. It came from the same company that supplies the Australian Spec Ops teams. So you're wearing a backpack, and at that point you have everything you need to play. In our games, you're working together as a team. And the game is intuitive, so it will learn what you're doing and it will just start changing its strategy. So we've had, already we've had 4 guys that have been repeat customers, bringing back either other friends, or one guy's brought his daughter 4 times already. He's ex-military, and he wanted to see if it really would change based on the strategy he presented, and it does. He loves it. He keeps coming back and brings her, and it's kind of their father-daughter time. There are barriers in the game, there are multi-levels in the game, which is really the fun part about VR. So if you walk into the space, you don't see elevators, but in the game there are 2 of them. It learns, did Stevie and Jason go upstairs? Maybe I need to send zombies from a different angle. Are they just staying downstairs camping out, keeping barriers built? It'll change its strategy at that point to try to eliminate those barriers and come get you. So it's an intense, just one-of-a-kind experience. Nothing like it You know, we're the 4th installation in the U.S., 8th globally. We're really excited to have brought this to the Tulsa area before the Dallas and Chicago's and LA's of the world. Finally, we get it first, but you got to come experience it to really understand it.
To take on those zombies for yourself, visit XtremeTulsa.com to learn more.
Still to come, we get a feel for some classic wartime birds.
And the man behind the bubble dome when Explore Tulsa continues.
Hi, Dr. Robert Zelman here. For over 20 years, I've offered affordable, convenient eye care in Tulsa. Right now, you can get 1 pair of glasses or contact lenses starting at just $99 or my 2-pair deal for $129. Hey, and as always, the eye exam's included. Walk-ins are always welcome. Glasses are ready in about an hour. Plus, we have over 2,000 frames to choose from. We're open 7 days a week. Come see why we're voted Tulsa's best. And our drive-thru at 69th and Memorial makes pickup simple and easy. For the best eye care value in Tulsa, Dr. Robert Zelman Associates.
Hello and welcome back for more Explore Tulsa, the New Year's edition.
This year we got to witness a solar eclipse in the U.S., but won't have another chance until April 2024.
But you don't have to wait that long to see other rarities in the sky. Dr. Schwartz keeps a couple of rare birds alive and soaring among the clouds near Grand Lake.
As a kid growing up in rural America in the 60s, I think every boy's dream was to become a jet fighter pilot and probably an astronaut as well. So of course we did everything we could to fulfill those fantasies. The aircraft I have are incredibly rare. They represent early American history, jet age history. These are actual aircraft flown by the U.S. Air Force. They weren't built in some foreign country by some foreign Air Force and then imported. These are true survivors, which is very rare. After World War II, the U.S. government developed a policy that equipment would be destroyed. It was no longer going to be made available to civilians. But a few aircraft were disseminated to vocational teaching centers. And the purpose then was to develop aviation mechanics at the VOTEC schools. And these aircraft were sent to various VOTEC schools around the country and used to teach young men how to rebuild engines, how to work on the electrical systems. The contracts were worded such that after a period of time, the VOTEC school would be declared the owner of it and they could do with it whatever they want. And a very, very rare few survived their days in the VOTEC schools and actually ended up in civilian hands. And these are some examples of those aircraft. The examples that we're standing in front of now, this one particularly, is very important. It actually is the oldest airworthy jet in the world right now. It is the only flying example of the F-86A model. This particular aircraft was built in 1948. It is the world's oldest flying jet as well. The flights in these airplanes are relatively limited. The flights that I take are simply to maintain proficiency. The skills required to fly these safely aren't maintained if you ignore them. So you do have to fly the airplanes for proficiency. More importantly, they are taken to air shows and displayed publicly. I think it's important for people to see what our early military history was all about.
Dr. Swartz flies his jets each year at the Duck Creek Fireworks Show at Grand Lake's festive 4th of July celebration.
Beauty and the Beast was #1 at the box office for 2017. And no, that's not the subtitle of Explore Tulsa.
Wonder Woman came in second on the big screen for 2017. And if there was a guy who could build Wonder Woman's invisible plane, it'd have to be custom car builder Darryl Starbird.
One of my pet peeves in them days, especially, was I didn't like Japanese cars. I sit down at the table and there's 5 Japanese designers there of me. Well, it turned out to really be a pleasant deal because they were overcome and just flabbergasted on the idea that I got to build a whole car. Well, the most famous car is the one right behind us, the Predictor, and it was early, like I say, the whole start of the bubble top car. The aircraft influence on me back in the days when I was working at Boeing and so forth. You know, helicopters. In fact, I got the first when I had come up with the idea, I wanted to put a bubble top on a car. I had no idea how to do that, or even had an idea where to go to do it, you know. I happened to run onto a guy that had worked for Bell Helicopter down in Fort Worth, and the front of the early helicopters all had bubble tops on them front. He kind of explained to me how they did that, and I kind of converted that over into my thoughts. And the first one I did in 1959, I guess my movie experience that made me known mainstream, so to speak, was American Graffiti movie. And they mentioned my name in there in my car. And I probably get more comments about that little one line, better than Darryl Starbird Super Flake Moonbird, than I do all the cars I ever built. I mean, you know, and even today I'll have somebody probably tell me they saw that movie and saw my name or heard my name in there.
It is! It's better than Darryl Starbird Super Flake Moonbird.
The fact that I've been able to do that and had the opportunities and many breaks went my way. And it's just plain old hard work. You know, when you're going to be successful in any business, you got to be dedicated 100% to that business. And unfortunately or fortunately, I was very dedicated to my career and to building cars, producing car shows, and becoming somewhat famous.
Now, Mr. Starbird's museum is still a Grand Lake favorite, and to visit for yourself, look up DarrylStarbird.com.
Stick around, we'll be right back with more Explore Tulsa.
Take charge of your health. We are what we put into our bodies.
We approach medicine from a unique standpoint. Rather than treating only the symptoms of an illness, we work to find the root cause and promote wellness of the entire body.
Our clinic offers complete assessment and treatment programs, including hormone replacement therapy, osteopathic manipulative therapy, and genetic DNA testing. It all starts with a medical evaluation.
Contact us today to begin your path to wellness.
Special thanks to all of you who took time to watch and be a part of Explore Tulsa throughout 2017.
We'd have loved to have been able to fit everybody into this week's show looking back on 2017, but there's still room for next year in 2018. So if you'd like to be on the show or have suggestions, email us your ideas to Stevie@ExploreTulsa.com.
As always, each week we feature the people, places, and attractions that make us proud to call Tulsa our home.
Remember, if you miss any of the show, you can always catch us at ExploreTulsa.com.
Plus, remember, Explore Tulsa is brought to you by Video Revolution, located on northwest corner of 71st and Lewis.
Stop by, say hello to Ron and all the guys for all of your home entertainment needs.
And Explore Tulsa is also proudly brought to you by Dr. Robert Zollner and Associates.
Home of Tulsa's best eye care value with 2 locations, 3016 South Harvard and 69th and Memorial.
And we welcome our newest sponsors, Doctors Mark and Michelle Sherwood at 61st and Sheridan.
Remember, your journey to whole body healing and wellness begins at the Functional Medical Institute.
Well, that's all the time we have for you on this week's show, but we hope 2018 will be an amazing year for you and your family. And we'll see you next week, right here on Explore Tulsa.